All right, guys, time for part three of the spreadsheet software worksheet. So now we've made a spreadsheet, we've formatted it nicely, we've used formulas to get some nice data that we want. Now we're going to talk about how you can add charts. Charts are awesome. Charts are really cool because this is a big table. If I were to show someone, hey, here's my class, they'd be like, who's doing good, who's doing bad, which test was easy, which test was hard. It's really hard to look at all this. Charts are a way of making things a lot more easy to understand. So, a lot of ways you can do charts in spreadsheet software. I'll show you a way. So I'm going to click and select on student and click and drag to select all of my data. Okay, everything from A2 student all the way down to F7, Sandy's average. Okay, I'm getting everything in here. I'm going to insert chart. And now we'll see. I have no idea. Excel or Sheets, they love to just guess a kind of chart. And sometimes I'm like, yep, that's what I want. And sometimes it's not. So this is what they call a stacked bar chart. And so you can see, like, if you look at it, it's this thing where they took every student, Frank, Joe, Kelly, Mariah, Sandy, and like blue is test one. So like, Kelly had a low test one score, right, of the 56. So her little blue is very small. But I'll be honest, I do not like this. Looking at this, like this doesn't show me anything very interesting. And a lot of times that'll happen. So what you have to do is when you make a chart on the right here, this chart editor will pop up. And sometimes you'll be in customized, sometimes you'll be in setup. You got to make sure you're in setup. Chart type. Let's change it. I don't like stacked columns. See, they've got all these guesses. A good classic one is, the column chart, or what we might, some people call this a bar chart. They call the horizontal a bar chart. It's kind of six one, half dozen the other. So I'll go column chart, and now this is a little nicer. We see, okay, every student, Frank, okay, he did pretty good on test two, pretty good on test three, but he never took test one, that's not blue. But then green, that total points is really big because it's adding all up. So I look at that and I'm like, I don't love that. So let me go over here, and still in the setup, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to scroll down, I'm going to look at this series total points. I'm actually going to remove this one. I think this one is not helping me. And then it kind of automatically rescales. All sorts of stuff I can do here. This one automatically had this legend for me, but sometimes it won't, or sometimes you can change it. Maybe I don't want to say test one, I'll just say, 1, 2, just to make it a little bit smaller. So I can double click in there to change it. That's a thing I can do. It's pretty nice, make it a little bit smaller. I can click here, I can change the title, Foreman IT test scores. I might decide, what, this x-axis for student, I don't really need it. It's obvious. I could click it, delete it. A lot of things I can do with this. And then this I can copy and paste it into, docs or a presentation like slides. I can print it. And this I think is just, a lot more visual, a lot more helpful. That's a bar chart. Another kind of chart that's sometimes nice, and we'll see, are various kinds of scatter charts or line charts. So check this out. I might want to see, because here looking at this, it's hard for me to tell, well, what was like the hardest test? What was the easiest test? I don't know. I can see how the students did, but I can't tell what test was easy or hard. Well, I'm going to add some data here that might make it helpful. I'm going to make an average, and we saw how to do that. And actually, psych, change my mind. I'm going to escape out. When in doubt, escape out. I'm going to name this average. And here I'm going to do a formula, average. And this is going to average these. So I can see this is the test one average. And I can see this because it's test one, and if I click in, it's averaging everything from B3 to B7. I'm going to again click and drag that over. And now it added this little average thing right to the bar chart. Sometimes it'll do that. It'll try to be smart, and this is actually pretty nice. But I'm going to drag this out of the way. We're going to add another chart. Check this out. Another cool thing we can do. If I click on this test 1, 2, 3, I've highlighted those. Those are selected. And now, look at this. I hold on my keyboard the control key. You can't see it, but I am. And now I click and drag and select these. Might be hard to tell, but I've actually got 6 cells highlighted. I've got 1, 2, 3 highlighted, and 65.8, 8.8, 79.4 highlighted. These are the ones that are selected. It's important that you know which ones you have selected, highlighted, because now when I go Insert, Chart, it's going to base it off of those. And now it's like, hey, did you want another column chart? I'm like, actually, this time I didn't. So I can go back to the setup, go to chart type, Let's do scatter. Scatter is really good in the science. You use it in science a lot for like comparing data, making lines of best fit. So we'll make a scatter chart. Um, oh, and some cool stuff has happened. We're gonna see if I can fix this live. My x-axis, I'm going to remove you. X-axis, and we're doing this live. I'm not sure if this is gonna do what I want. I'm gonna move this over so I can see it. I'm gonna make my x-axis, select data range. I'm gonna select these. No, it's not gonna work. What do I want? Can I do this? Will this do it? Oh, you know what I think I gotta do? Sorry, you see me do it live. I think I need to move my face over here so I'm out of the way. Maybe. Or my face is gone now? I don't know. We'll see. Switch rows and columns. Yeah, that's what I want. So basically something that I didn't explain to you that I probably could have, you're seeing me think live, is that it's kind of looking for rows versus columns, how you format the data. And I've got my data formatted in rows instead of columns, so I had to flip-flop it. Now you can actually see that it is taking the average, right? This here, if I click on it, this is my 65 point whatever. That's my test one average. I know it's hard to tell, but see, that number is about 65.8. But let's go back to this chart. Let's customize this chart. Let's give it a title, right? Title, test scores Shortman. Okay, we'll add that. And now there's the title. Let's add, oh, this is great. If you go into series, let's add a trend line. Because now I can see, on average, test scores were going up. That sounds good. Seems like I'm teaching my kiddos a good job. We can add a legend. Top. We can make this, these three dots, the series, these are the average scores. Alright? So we can add that, and someone look at that and know, okay, those are the ones. Horizontal axis. We could give it, let's see, seeing the think live here. Sometimes you can add, yeah, grid lines are kind of nice. We can add some tick marks there to see those. And I'm realizing as I made it, there's things I could have done to make this look a little bit nicer. This is not perfect. If I were doing this for real, there's some things I'd change. But this is the idea. You select the data, you insert a chart. And that's how you do it. And as you get more experience, you'll get better at it, and eventually you'll be great at it. So great work. This has been some spreadsheet software practice.